I recently watched a very cheesy British horror films, and I'm so glad to be able to say that cheesy, crappy British horror films are still being made. And that was The Haunting of Borely Rectory. Now, I believe this was made on a very low budget, and it does show. So basically, this tells the story of an American serviceman who's injured. He's offered the opportunity to go to England to listen in to German chatter because he's multilingual. And so he goes to Essex to listen in. He becomes aware of this old ruin, which is Borely Rectory, and becomes intrigued by it. Now, at the very beginning, we meet this girl named Marianne and a man named Mr. Price. Marianne is telling him a little bit more about her time at Borely Rectory as the rector's wife, and that she saw a man there, and she says, "Do you ever believe in love at first sight?" And this man she kept seeing, and she's come back to Borely to see if she can see him again. The acting is terrible. However, I digress. I'll get back to that in a minute. So the young man starts seeing and hearing things. Mostly it seems to be when he's asleep. He sees Marianne and he sees this nun. He sees this nun both in his dreams and when he's awake. And in fact, the first appearance of the nun made me laugh because she just comes up like that. And I just thought it was so hysterical. It's not supposed to be, I know it's supposed to be creepy, but it wasn't. It made me laugh. I enjoyed this film. I will say that the acting is absolutely atrocious. The girl playing Laura or Laurie, there was a girl playing that blonde one who's telling the story of what she saw at Borely Rectory and the fire that destroyed the building, and that's fine. She's really good. The American wasn't too bad at point. But the guy playing Mr. Price was absolutely atrocious. The guy playing the groundskeeper was laughable. So yeah, it was. Now, on to Borely Rectory itself. So Borely Rectory was a real place in Essex a long time ago. It was built in the 1800s for a rector and his wife, I can't remember what their name is now, the Bulls. And they moved in, and their daughters said they started seeing this nun walking around, and there is a patch of land there called the Nun's Walk, where they said they saw her walking up and down. Now, it's believed they actually made this story up, but this is where they get the nun from in this. People were saying online that this isn't actually like what happened at Borely Rectory, but from everything I can find out, other than the American bit, which is the fictional part, the stories sort of tally with what Borely Rectory's history was, from what I can see from things I've looked into, which isn't much. I've watched a few videos about it that were made before this film. So while the acting was absolutely terrible, let's go into some of the things that it did get right, even though it's a fictional story. It's good because it mixes fact and fiction, although you could say all the hauntings were fiction, so that doesn't matter. So with the hauntings, they had the nun, they had the story about why the nun was there. There was actually two stories. One was that she was seduced by a monk, became pregnant, and they killed her. The second one was that she was having an affair with the monk and they ran away. Well, they were going to run away together, but they were killed before they did. And that is why the nun is there. These two are the stories that actually came out about it. They used the name of the nun that they believe was from a French convent that was going to run away with one of the monks. Her name was Marie-Laire. That was true. Marianne was a real person. She was the rector's wife, the last rector's wife before it was abandoned. So she is correct. She is real. And Mr. Price is real. Harry Price was actually the name of a very parapsychologist, very famous man who debunked very, very many mediums, but is actually one of the people believed to be behind the stories of these ghosts at Borely Rectory. Borely Rectory did catch fire in 1939 and it was knocked down in 1944. Other than that, it's all fiction. But I enjoyed it. It was cheesy. It was fun. It's worth watching just because it's so silly. I love a bit of cheesy horror. Like I said, it's based on a true story, which Borely Rectory is. Obviously, the American part and the serviceman They need something to knit the stories together. Marianne was the woman in his dreams. The American was the man she kept seeing in 1930s. I think it was, yeah, 1934 when she saw him. So I don't know whether there was some sort of time slip or something going on there, that she was seeing him in the past. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it was such a silly but good movie. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to watch another film. I am loving being back into movies. If you want to see more movie reviews, you know where I am. I'm on here on TikTok, or I'm also over on the Tube of You under Andrea's Attic. I post everything on there as well. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you soon with another review when I've watched another film. Bye.